everywhere. What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's live stream where we are going to be previewing Update 40 and everything coming in it. We are so excited to be talking about Endless Archive today. We're going to be going over all the details of things that are coming in the base game. We're going to be doing some live gameplay a little bit later in the stream. So be sure and stick around and stay tuned for that. My name is Gina Bruno. I'm the Senior Community Manager for the Elder Scrolls Online. And Mike Finnegan, our lead encounter designer.
Hello.
And a little bit later in the stream, we will also be joined by Lauren Kaiser, our Associate Encounter Designer. She's going to be playing through Endless Archive with Rich.
She's going to be carrying
Rich.
She's not going to be playing through. She's going to carry me.
Rich will be playing with Lauren.
Yes, there we go.
This is going to be
I'm
Lauren's
in pants,
world.
yes.
This is going to be the Lauren's world, and Rich is just...
Yes.
So we do have a brand new Twitch drop available for everybody watching on Twitch today. It is the Tentacular Tome emote, which you can see here. So all you have to do is make sure your ESO and Twitch accounts are linked, and then you get this really unique, one-of-a-kind emote just by watching today's stream,
Yes.
which is pretty cool. All right, we're going to go over our agenda for today's live stream just so you can know what to expect. We are going to be kicking things off talking about the features and improvements that are coming with Update 40. Afterwards, we will be getting right into Endless Archive and talking about how that whole system works. Afterwards, we are going to hop into a live development server where we will show off some Endless Archive gameplay. And then, of course, we'll be wrapping up just talking about some in-game events that are coming to ESO and some other community activities. So one of the in-game events that is actually coming in just a few weeks is something called Secrets of the Telvanni. Now, this is starting September 28th, runs through October 10th. This is our Necrom celebration where you can earn some really, really cool rewards. So we're going to be going through all the details a little bit later in the stream, so be sure and stay tuned because we are going to tell you what the rewards are for this. Now, everything that we are talking about in today's stream for Update 40, we are excited to say is coming to the public test server on Monday,
Finally.
September 18th.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll have all the patch notes going up that morning. It'll be available for you to try out on the PTS in just a few days. After we are finished with today's stream, we are going to be kicking it over to our stream team member, Deltia, who will be hosting a post-show, and Finn will actually be joining to answer a few questions from everything that you see today. All right, so let's get right into everything. Update 40. What does that mean? For players that maybe aren't super familiar with our update cadence, what are these updates?
An update is essentially just the wrapper for all of the work that is completed in a particular period of time. So this is going to be update 40, which is crazy when you think about it. We've done 40 updates in 9 years. We try to do it quarterly, try to do media updates.
That's a lot.
It's actually more than 4 a year.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this is just a huge thing for us. It's a really as much as possible, and give players, a good experience as possible.
It's pretty crazy that we have done
Like,
39 updates so far.
Yeah, it's really
every
it's
quarter.
Really nuts.
And
It's a lot.
you look back at it and all the stuff that we've done over the years. Like we have a spreadsheet of Doom in the office that Phil actually Phil Draven has put together, and it just lists all the player-facing things that we've done. And looking back at it, you're like, oh yeah, that wasn't base game.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we released that
Yeah.
6 years ago at this point now, right? Like it's just crazy how much the game has changed.
I
as a
will say
result.
that time has a new meaning anyway lately. Like,
True.
Everything that
Very
happened
true.
in 2017, I'm like, oh, it was 2 years ago. No, that was 6 years ago. It's unbelievable.
True.
We should share that spreadsheet of Doom. That sounds.
I agree. It's awesome, and I think we should.
Maybe
yeah.
we can rename it before we do
Yeah,
that, though.
yeah, we should.
So as we mentioned, this is coming to PTS on Monday. We do want to let you know that everything you see from Update 40 is going to go live October 30th for PC and Mac, and then November 14th for Xbox and PlayStation consoles. So you don't have to wait long
Nope.
to get your hands on this content. All right, so now let's get into all the things that are coming in Update 40, right? We're going to talk about Endless Archive in a little bit, but first, let's talk about some things that we think players are going to be pretty excited about. One of which is something that we first talked about at the ESO celebration in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so we've actually been teasing this a little bit in
For sure.
in a number of things, and it's the Grandmaster crafting stations, and this is our solution to a problem that has slowly been getting worse over the years. We have 70 some odd, 77 I think craftable
something
sets
like
in
that,
game,
yeah.
and you can get attunable crafting stations to build or craft these sets in your home. So when you start to do the math, there's 4 sets or 4 stations per set, one for blacksmithing, one for jewelry crafting, one for woodworking, and one for leatherworking and clothing. That's like 300 some odd, 308
Right.
unique stations that you have to put in your home. That basically fills your home.
I mean, that's what it looks like.
There
here.
you go, right, yeah.
Right, perfect example.
So it's this sea of crafting
Perfect
stations.
example.
And so we wanted to come up with a way that reduced that impact on players, that are super invested into this, guild masters, crafters, but also not eliminate all of that hard work and effort that people have put into collecting all these things. So we came up with Grandmaster crafting stations. And what they are is, and you can see some concepts of them, they are a unique crafting station per crafting skill line. So there's one for blacksmithing, one for leatherworking and clothing and jewelry crafting and woodworking. And you essentially feed the attuned stations to this crafting station. So you will only ever have 4 crafting stations in your home from now on. And there's
awesome.
It's like Little Shop of Horrors.
right.
You gotta
they upgrade
feed them
as
in.
you go
Yeah,
through. So
yeah,
as
there you go.
you start to
It's
reach
bigger.
certain thresholds of known set stations that have been consumed, I guess, the station starts to fill out more, and then there's a really cool effects at the very end that says, "Hey, I've collected them all." And so it's just a really cool way to kind of solve a problem while still also respecting and showing people just how important that grind was. You will be able to buy them for RITs or RIT vouchers, so it's part of the crafting thing. I think it's a really elegant solution, and players are going to be really, really happy about this.
See how excited they are?
Yeah, chat's going
They're-
crazy.
They're
yeah,
happy.
Awesome.
They are
Yeah.
happy.
And it is really going to reduce like the footprint of crafting and housing.
Yeah, now it's
That's
only ever
a
4
big
stations
deal,
from
right?
here on out.
That's so great.
It's slowly been getting worse. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's
right.
slowly, you start doing that math, it's always 4x, and now it's
Right.
just 4
Yeah,
forever.
that's so good.
That's awesome. So there are also some changes coming to jewelry crafting
There are.
that we would like to talk about too.
Yeah, so this is another one of those that we've gotten a lot of
your happy
feedback.
dance?
I'm
Over
so
there?
happy. I'm so happy. I have so much jewelry that's stuck in purple or blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've gotten a lot of feedback from the community on this. And when we first launched jewelry crafting in Somerset, so that's like 2018, the goal was this system really caters to kind of the high end, the end game players, those that have a little bit more extra wealth. And we definitely hit that mark. We maybe over-tuned it a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we want to get jewelry crafting into line with all the other crafting skill lines. So we did a complete rebalance of the system. And I apologize now if I go into like really deep dive stuff, but I really want to explain what we worked on and what we did. So the way the system works right now is there are dusts, and that's essentially the raw ore, and you refine that into ounces, and sometimes you get a grain, and then you need some number of grains in order to convert that into a plating, and they're all really rare, and it's time consuming, and it's a pain in the rear. So what we decided to do is we're completely removing grains. Grains are gone. No more grains. It's only going to be platings from here on out. That already instantly reduces kind of the load.
For sure.
But as a part of that, we're going through, I see chats going crazy.
What?
And I'm sure at this point there's going to be a run on all the guild traders
yeah,
now.
right.
Like,
It's like,
they're already launching.
Get your dust now. I'm
Hold
telling
on,
her,
there's
get your
more
grains
to
now.
this.
Get your grains now.
There's way more to this. So again, like we did with the Grandmaster crafting stations, we know that players have built up an inventory of these grains and dusts and whatnot. So we want to respect that work and that effort. So there's going to be a conversion process that goes into place. So grains are going to be renamed ancient grains, and existing platings are going to be renamed ancient platings. And when you log in, they are going to get converted. So a grain will get converted 1-to-1 to a plating, to a new plating. So if you had 10 grains, you're going to have 10 platings. If you had 10 platings, they're going to get converted at a 10-to-1 ratio. So you will get 10 new platings. Most players are not going to see this conversion. They'll get notified, and they'll just see the new ones.
Right.
Because we're going to auto-convert everything in your inventory. But stuff that's not in your inventory, so things like guild banks or mails or guild traders, you're still going to see the ancient versions. And then as soon as you loot those, they're going to get converted so that it helps with server downtime. It helps with performance and whatnot. So grains are gone, right? All that stuff's being converted. The system has also been balanced to be more in line with the other crafting skills. So if you have all of your perks put into improvements, now it's going to cost 8 platings in order to upgrade to gold jewelry.
Like tempers and
like
kudos
tempers and kudos and whatnot. So we've also gone through and kind of looked at master writs and writs just in general to make sure that they're in line. So I actually think we got rid of the blue versions of the jewelry crafting writs just because they're going to be worthless in the new system. And they were kind of a stopgap to kind of help with the balance being so out of whack. And then we also did a pass on the golden vendors as well, just to make sure that the costs there were all, in line. So a huge rebalance effort. It's something that is going to get a lot more players into the system. It's a lot more accessible now, and hopefully, if we've done our math right, we should see things level out and get more consistent with the other skill lines.
Look, I know that was a lot, right?
I apologize.
That was a word dump of information.
We know you guys need a minute.
Right? That is all going to be in the patch notes explained, so you can kind of read it through on Monday. Take some time to digest.
Yes.
It'll be explained in there. Don't worry.
It's a good thing.
This is all a good thing, right?
Yes.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking about good stuff here, right? One more thing that Rich would like to talk about that is coming with update 40.
One more thing.
One more thing.
What?
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, so we have a new system that we're putting in that we've kind of been really good at keeping under wraps for a while.
We have.
And I think it's going to be easier for me to kind of show it rather than tell it. So I'm going to jump in game here. Hopefully at some point we can swap over to in-game here. And I am going to show you the new Group Finder tool.
Group Finder?
So we have a Group Finder tool now. So we still have the Dungeon Finder. This is still in place. This is still, you pick your role, you hit join queue, and it's a random roll. What the Group Finder is a new tool for players to be able to advertise their groups for other players to go in and participate with. And these are all kind of individual filters, if you can see them. So there's dungeons, arenas, trials. Hey, Endless Archive.
Look at that.
Wonder what that is. There's also custom, so you can use this across the board for any kind of content you want. It's really up to you.
Yeah, it's really not just trials or dungeons. Like you have it highlighted there. PvP does it easier
it
to
could be
go
anything.
into Cyrodiil and find
Yeah, no,
groups and
no
stuff.
more shouting in general
Yeah,
chat.
hit
Hey, I
X
want to find a
to-
group,
yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Somebody
Right,
even said no more Craglorn.
right. No more Craglorn, right?
Right.
And so I'm just gonna say Finn and I want to do AA.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry,
Or
Endless Archive.
Ethereum
Uh,
Archive.
Ethereum
Ethereum
Archive.
Archive.
Yeah.
I can go in. I'm the group leader. I can click create in here. I can choose which trial, if we want veteran or normal, any trials, the group that we need, put in names, whatever we want. We've got some criteria in here that we can set up. Whether or not champion points are required, what roles we're looking for. Finn's a tank, so we're probably going to need 3.
Tanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably accurate. It's probably accurate.
He's playing.
And then we can post the group. And then this goes into a list, and anybody can see this, and they can apply for the group. The group leader gets notified that somebody's has petitioned to join the group. I can actually set auto-accept requests, so you can
Yep.
just automatically go in there and get it. And yeah, there's lots of really cool functionality in this. And I really can't wait for players to get this in their hands. It's going to solve a lot of problems. We've talked to
Trial
players
Finder,
over the years.
yeah.
Trial Finder, give us
Trial
Trial
Finders, but
Finder,
yeah,
right?
Trial Finder's been
You
the
know,
biggest
and,
one.
and
Absolutely.
this was our solution to that
Yeah.
because
There's more
There's
more
lots of-
control.
yes.
There's more
More
control.
player
So
control, yeah.
much more than in Dungeons Trials, you kind
Yeah.
of want that control. So this gives us a better
Yep.
controllable thing.
And
that
this
the
is
group
also
gonna do.
going to be a huge boon for our console friends, right?
sure.
They don't have some of
Absolutely.
the auto invite add-ons
Yeah.
that PC players do, and so this is going to be a huge win for just grouping in general.
Right. Craglorn is. I know I saw somebody mention it. Craglorn's gonna be so quiet. So quiet now.
Yep.
So quiet.
Yep.
So if you're just tuning into the stream, we're just kind of going over some features and things that are coming in our next update, which is update 40. Just to kind of recap everything that Rich just went over, we have the new Grandmaster crafting stations, which is going to give you a lot more flexibility in your home. You're going to go from like 300 odd sets all the way down to 4, which is awesome. We also have some changes coming to jewelry crafting, making them a little bit more player friendly, just by bringing it much more in line with the other crafting skills, and we're removing grains. And then what Rich just talked about, which is this new group finder, letting you essentially advertise your group when you're looking for more people or set specific parameters like roles and champion points, the type of content you're doing, things like that. So I think what we should move on to is what people are really excited to hear about, which is Endless Archive.
Endless Archive.
What is
Right?
that?
What is
This is
Endless
something
Archive?
that we have kind of touched on over the past few months, given little tidbits here and there. But Finn, what is Endless Archive?
Yeah, so Endless Archive is a brand new gameplay experience for Update 40. You can venture in here solo or with a companion or with a friend. The goal here is you're tasked by Hermaeus Mora to venture into this bizarre location that's chaotic and put it right. It is roguelike inspired, so for those players that don't know what roguelike is, so you can kind of get an idea of how that is. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. We're going to show it, and you're going to see how kind of all those systems work. It is systemically endless, which means
That sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, it is a challenge. You're in here for as long as you're good
boy.
enough. So you fight and survive random arenas against random monsters, random bosses pulled from all over Tamriel, and the difficulty continuously increases until it probably becomes too much for people. We'll see how.
Like I said,
how
there's the
far they go.
challenge.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
the
wait to
challenge.
see,
That's the
right,
challenge
you
for
know.
sure.
So we've seen a lot of questions since we first mentioned Endless Archive a few months ago,
Yes.
how players can access this content.
Yes.
And the good news is it's not a DLC.
This is not a DLC. This is a base game update. So everybody that has ESO can jump right in from day one and play this from the jump. I mean,
Yep.
and if you have the Necrom chapter, you can go to Apocrypha, which where this place is. And if you don't, you can just go to your map and then click on
open
the
it up and
icon
go
and,
in and away you go.
jump
Yep.
right in. Yep.
Or I was just going to say,
Or you could use the group finder.
you-
Yeah,
Oh,
use
I
the
was
group
gonna
finder
say, like,
tool.
what's the other way?
Yeah.
and get some.
He threw us for a
friend,
loop
away
there.
you go.
Like,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
Now, the natural follow-up question is, what does that mean for ESO Plus members?
yeah, and that's a good question. So ESO
Thank
Plus
you.
already ESO Plus already affords you a 10% XP gain. So in Endless Archive, you have an additional bonus. You get an additional archival fortunes, which is the new currency that's available in Endless Archive. We're going to show those a little bit later and go over that. But you do have that bonus. And actually, if you mouse over your ESO Plus icon in your tray, it'll show you all of the benefits that you get.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about why you decided to build this new system
Why now?
Why now? Why now? So, ESO, as we mentioned earlier, ESO is 9 years old. So there's a lot of content that we have built. And this gives us an opportunity to showcase some of that content for players that have seen it before, but this is in a brand new way. Like I said, you can come in here solo or duo. And so seeing some of the trial and dungeon bosses that you maybe fought with 2 or with 4 or 12 players, now you're going to have to fight it with 2 players or maybe even solo. But not only that, we also have content from all over Tamriel that we're pulling in here. So you're going to find some quest bosses, you're going to find some group bosses, you're going to find delve and public dungeon spaces. So.
Yeah, and the intent with this is it's a little bit more systemic and a little bit
for sure.
There's a little bit more meat on the bones, so to speak. You know, and that a lot of players, we get feedback where they love the dungeons, but they're kind of one and done. They go in there, they do the content, they get the drops they want, and then they're done with it. Well, with this, because it's systemically endless,
right?
And there's tons of stuff in here to kind of earn and get and learn. It's a little bit meatier, and so there's more content for players to kind of dig into.
And to touch on Duo a little bit, we've had that request since Maelstrom really came out.
Yeah.
To
it's
do
definitely not a
Duo
foreign
content.
concept.
Yeah, to do Duo content. So this is when Maelstrom first came out, it was originally planned to be
fact.
Fun fact. Maelstrom originally came out, it was designed to be solo, duo, or 4 players. And as development went on, as happens, we had to make sure that the features fit kind of where they needed to be. So this is the first time we've been able to actually explore Duo content.
So let's provide a little bit of context for everybody. What's the story behind this place?
So this is part of the Shadow over Morrowind story arc. You are tasked by Hermaeus Mora to come in here in the Endless Archive, and there's chaos reigning in here. And Master Malchus, who is his chosen agent in here, is going to give you a quest that to track down the chaos-causing entity, which is a Daedra, a very powerful Daedra by the name of Thoat Replicanum.
Glad you said that.
Yeah, right. She is, like I said, she's causing chaos. She's kind of delving into the books here and spreading the fiction around, which is kind of the story behind why you're seeing all monsters from all over Tamriel. They're pulled from all of the different texts that Hermaeus Mora has gathered. Now this is part of it does touch on the Shadow over Morrowind story arc. Necrom is not required. We talked about that earlier. It's base game updates. Necrom is not required, so you can just jump right in, even if for some reason you don't have the Necrom.
It's extra story.
It's extra story. Yeah.
So we know everyone's really excited to see this gameplay in action. We will be doing that in just a moment. But first, I think it's important to just kind of provide some details on how this works.
Right.
Because there are a lot of different different features that kind of go into
It's a big
this.
system.
Yeah.
It is. It's a very big system. Yeah. So it is an endless PvE arena for all ESO players. So the basic breakdown for this is it breaks down into stages, cycles, and arcs. You start in stages, you fight waves of monsters, and then progress to the next stage. After you've fought 3 stages, you then get a boss stage. After you've completed and killed that boss, again, these monsters and the bosses are pulled from all over Tamriel. We have 60 plus bosses that we've curated from all over Tamriel. And once you've fought that boss, that ends a cycle. Once you've done 5 cycles, you then fight Thoat Replicanum.
The big bad.
And she ends what's called an arc. Now, each of these stages will increment difficulty a little bit, cycles a little bit more, and arcs even more. So
that's actually a really good call out, difficulty-wise.
Difficulty-wise, for sure. So you complete. You could be like I said, you could tackle this anyway. You could tackle this solo, with a friend or with a companion, and you can play this systemically forever. Now, what that means is you have only a certain amount of lives, and what they're called threads of fate. And once your threads of fate are cut, and for those players that remember the original trial implementation, once your lives were out, once your lives remaining was gone, you can no longer respawn, and then you couldn't be resurrected or anything like that. That's the way threads of fate work here. Once you are out of threads, you go back to the entrance, and your run is done, and then you'll have to start a new one.
Yeah, and kind of changed things up a little bit here too. You know, the other arenas were more focused on time
Right.
and speed, and with Endless Archive, we wanted to focus more on build diversity
For sure.
and giving players a little bit more opportunity to kind of play around and learn and do things. So leaderboard, scoreboard wise,
Yeah.
they're not time based anymore.
There is not. This is not a time component, and that's actually directly related to the feedback that we got from a lot of players, as
Right.
they were said, "Hey, I really would love to enjoy this, but I play a tank or I play a healer,
Right.
and I want more ways to engage this, and I can't do Maelstrom because it's all time based and stuff." So we wanted to hone in on those players so that you have a choice now in building your perfect duo. You can bring a tank, or you can
And
bring
you
a
can
healer.
take your
You can
time.
and you can
Right?
take
You
your
can
time.
explore, you can enjoy
And
it.
actually,
right?
it's beneficial that you do take your time. When we get into it later, we'll show you all about that.
Makes it a little more accessible
Yes.
this way, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about monsters?
So I mentioned this a little bit earlier. The monsters are curated from. You're going to see sets of monsters from various pieces of content. You got some, Silver Rose monsters, some vampires, some goblins, and they are put together, and you're going to fight them in random stages. But then the bosses, we have 60 plus bosses that we've curated from all over Tamriel. And as I talked about, it's not just trial and dungeon bosses. You're going to find
There's story bosses.
You're going to
there's-
find story
yeah.
bosses. You're going to find public dungeon champions,
Yep.
world bosses, and taking these and then curating them and then using them for this experience. The team is kind of reworked some of the abilities, so it'll be iconic and you'll remember. So if you're used to fighting these things, it's gonna make sense
It'll
what they're
feel familiar,
doing.
yeah.
It'll feel familiar, but it's different because it's for two
Yeah,
players.
I mean, thematically,
Yeah.
they're going to do the same kinds of things, but they have to work in this.
Right,
space,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Familiar but different.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, so contrary to other type of instance content, there's no normal or veteran version. to this.
Correct.
That is a big one. on
That is a big
difficulty,
one.
yeah.
There is no normal or veteran here. Everybody is in the same difficulty. So if you come in here solo, naturally we know that duo players are going to get further, or duo players or players with a companion are going to get further than solo players, and that's fine. Also, it allows you, let's say you come in here solo, and you start fighting through for a little bit, and you notice you're getting pretty tough. Oh, you know what? I'm going to bring in my friend. And then that friend's going to jump in here and be able to help you out and keep carrying on and stuff. So, yeah, we wanted that kind of flexibility to have solo or duo. But that's the same difficulty. And I think once people see how the system works,
It
they're going to
starts to ramp
realize
up in difficulty as you go.
they're also going to see why that
Yes,
decision
yes,
was
absolutely.
made.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what does all of that mean for leaderboards?
Leaderboards are segmented into solo or duo. So if you come in here solo and you stay solo through the entirety of your run, and so all your threads are gone, you will be put on the solo leaderboard. But the minute you summon a companion or bring a friend in, you're then put on the duo leaderboard, and you can't go back to the solo leaderboard, so people can't. Cheese it.
Right.
Yeah,
Not
cheese
like
it.
anybody would ever do that.
Yeah, that'd be the first patch we would have. So no cheesing it and stuff like that. Once you bring two people in there, you're always on the duo leaderboard.
So in previous content, we've given players the ability to choose different types of buffs that they want to use.
Right.
Endless Archive has something similar. Again, similar but different.
Right. So, harkening back to the roguelike roots that we have here. So every run is going to be different, and we wanted that kind of individualized chance so that every time you come in here, you're experiencing something new. So we have Hermaeus Mora is going to help you out with verses and visions. As you complete a stage, you are given a choice of a verse, and you have a choice of two verses, and the two verses are chosen from random. And you make that choice, and it's basically a buff that lasts for the next stage. These are really impactful, short duration buffs that are really going to help you. So the idea being that after you complete a stage, you kind of know where you're going. You're like, okay, I want to choose the best version of the best possible verse I can choose. And then visions are long duration buffs, and those are chosen at the end of cycles or at the end of arcs, and you choose that, and that persists. Those are stackable. They're a little bit less impactful than verses, and they're stackable, and you get those persist through the entirety of the rest of your run. So you have two means to change up your run as you're going.
I'm going to tell you all right now, this makes a lot more sense when you see it in game.
It
Trust
does.
That's why we're
me,
gonna
like,
show it. That's why
we're
we're
going to
totally
show
gonna
it
show
in
it.
just a moment.
Yeah.
Like the first time I heard all this from Finn, I'm like, it's a lot of
Yeah.
but it makes sense
It
once
does.
you
It
see
does. It does.
And we are going to be hopping in game in just a minute. But
Sure.
first, we know a lot of people are at,
You see
like
it in
literally
chat.
right
Look,
now,
chat's
asking
going,
about
what's the
rewards.
rewards? Yeah.
Let's touch on the rewards real quick, the
Yeah.
types of things that you can get from this.
So there's multiple mechanisms for rewards here. I mentioned archival fortunes earlier. That is the new currency, and that's going to unlock, and that's going to be how you kind of get the majority of the rewards. We are going to have class sets. We had talked about it. Some idiot in Germany linked that.
Yeah,
I don't know who that was.
loudmouth.
Some loudmouth linked the idea of class sets. But those are available in here. But you have two ways to get those. You can use your archival fortunes and save up and buy those at their specialized vendors in here.
Yep.
Or you can get them as drops
Yep.
from Thoat herself. Or possibly other means.
Some other means.
And there's also other collectibles in here. That's not just class sets. There are things in here that are going to help you specifically on your run. So you have scrolls that will grant you an extra verse for this stage that you're currently on. You have account unlocks, which will forever help you further in future runs. So there's a lot of stuff in here that players will be able to experience.
This is
stuff.
the most amount of rewards we've ever put in a piece of content before.
Yeah,
There's a
lot.
ton.
There's a
of
ton of stuff in here. Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting.
And we're going to show you all just a list of a lot of the rewards when we hop in game, which, speaking of which, I think we should do.
I think
yeah?
That's a good idea.
So we are going to get prepared to get into the game. We need to step away for just a moment just to kind of get some things rearranged here so we can bring Lauren into play too. We're going to show you that teaser trailer of Endless Archive one more time while we get set up, and then we will be back with some live gameplay, so stick around. Just want to remind everybody real quick that we do have Twitch drops on right now. If you link your ESO and Twitch accounts, you will get yourself this tentacular tome emote. Can we just use the word tentacular as an adjective forever?
All the time.
Because I
All the
kind of love
time.
it, right?
Ever since that came up, the team has been using it all
Yes,
the time.
tentacular.
There's memes. They're memes
tentacular.
everywhere in the
I
office.
like it. I like it. So we are back. We've somehow just rearranged everything
Yes.
in about 60
amazing.
seconds, which was amazing.
Quick change.
And we
Quick
have Lauren
change.
here now.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
So welcome to Lauren Kaiser. She is an associate encounter designer on Finn's team for ESO. How long have you worked on The Elder Scrolls Online?
So I joined ZOS in 2019 on the QA team, and then I just transitioned to the encounter design team about a year ago now. Yeah.
Chat, say hi to Lauren, welcoming her to the stream. What's one of your favorite things that you have worked on since you've been here?
So I actually have two favorites, and they're both pieces of content that were released in Update 38. And the first is the Feral Gallery objective. So for those that don't know, it's an objective in Apocrypha, and it's Hermaeus Mora's collection of fantastic creatures from all across Tamriel. And with that objective, I had a blast creating all of the little scenes with different monsters, both on display and running amok, and giving them their own unique story. And then my other favorite is Rune Master's Jomara, and he is the Arcanist world boss in Apocrypha. And with him, I had a lot of fun putting twists on a bunch of different Arcanist player abilities and different apocryphal elements and meshing them all together for what was hopefully a pretty cool and challenging boss fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, next time you all run across that, now you can think of Lauren. Just,
There you go.
Now you can blame Lauren.
You're right.
Just think of her laughing behind the boss as you die.
All right, so we are going to hop into an internal development server to show you all Endless Archive gameplay. This way you can see everything that Finn just talked about.
Yep.
in
Here we
action.
go.
In action.
Yes. So this is the index. This is where
The foyer. No, it's the index. Sorry.
there's the index, right? This is
Foyer.
the index. This is where you start in Endless Archive.
I say foyer, I think. Does anyone else say foyer or is it foyer?
I don't.
Fancy, right?
He's Canadian. He's Canadian.
Here we go.
So this is where you would start. It's got some pretty cool visuals here. Master Malcast is off to the side. Now we are not going to take the quest.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Here we're not because we don't want to
Good call.
spoil quest elements too. He'll pop up from time to time, and you'll see him. But Rich and Lauren, I'm sorry, the Lauren show is going to start
right.
here in a minute.
Jump
Rich
in.
is going to jump right in. Lauren is currently playing a tank, and Rich is playing his best at a DPS.
Whoa. I'm on my
Ooh.
Stamplar, yes.
Yeah, and you're seeing Rich's gameplay
You're
here.
seeing Rich's
so
gameplay.
you'll see Lauren running around,
Yep.
making sure that he stays alive. But
So one of the first things to kind of point out when you first come in, you have a breathing room.
You do.
Like nothing swarms you right off the
Right.
bat. The way you started off is you go towards these little portals,
These little ink blob things.
and that starts starts the fun.
Yes,
And
this starts the fun. You see this little wheel here that shows up on the screen? That's telling you, and you can actually see it in the top right of his screen too, where it's underneath Mora's bones. That tells you what stage, cycle, and arc that you are currently on.
And that is super
And
important.
it's super
Yeah.
important
For
because
strategy of versus.
exactly,
Yeah.
because when you get to stage 3, after you complete stage 3, you know that a boss, a cycle boss, or an arc boss is coming up. So you're going to want to prepare and choose the best verse for that choice.
oh, somebody was asking, can you use the armory assistant in here?
They don't
It
fight.
is leaderboard content, but
Oh, for leaderboard.
yeah, it's leaderboard content, so not typically.
Yeah.
Wait. But
So you
again,
mean-
It's a good question, though.
Yeah.
Good
but
question.
again, like it's not time based.
Right,
At
it's
all,
not time-based,
Right? So
right.
you don't have to be crazy efficient in this. Like
Yeah,
your focus is on going as deep as you can.
for sure. So here, this is the first choice for a verse. So if you see this, this is the options that you have. You are afforded 2 choices, and these are random. So Rich actually scored big here.
More
This is actually one
jabs.
of the best it's a really good verse. It buffs all of your class abilities. And then this is another one, stamina renewal. So these verses are separated into 3 separate categories. There's offense, defense, and utility, and you get 2 choices from any of those categories. There are 40 plus verses and 40 plus visions that can possibly show up.
That'll just kind of rotate through.
They'll kind of
Yeah.
rotate through. They don't
It's
rotate.
RNG.
It's completely random which you're going to see. And the stages operate like this. You see these like little groups. All of this is set in Apocrypha, so the visuals, if you're used to going around kind of Hermaeus Mora's realm, you're going to recognize a lot of these visuals. There are wrinkles. You can see some goblins here. Like I said, the monster sets are curated from all over Tamriel, so you're going to see a good mix. And sometimes it may not make sense, but it makes sense because these are the stories that you're kind of
missing
invading.
buttons. That's okay.
There you go.
So I will try to remember to take a breath and look at some of the world building.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
I think Mars
did a great-
an unbelievable
Mars did
job
an
at putting
unbelievable
all
job,
of this
yeah.
stuff together. Like it's so cool. I saw a question in chat about do both players get the same buffs?
No,
Oh, yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
And they don't, which
actually,
is really good question.
That's a very good question. Each person gets their own selection. So if you
Just
have
for
a
you,
tank,
Mike.
yes, you got to get killed.
Just for
This is
you.
one of my favorite verses. This is one, and you're gonna see it next. This is one where you get to shake down monsters. You basically get a synergy, and you get to punch them, and gold piles fall out. So it is. It's not. It's one of those ones that's not going to be super impactful for DPS wise, but it's just a funny.
It's fun.
It's just a funny little thing that you
there's a
can
gold
choose. There he
monster,
is.
so
There
hit
you
him.
punched him, and he got the gold pile right there on the
Yeah.
ground.
I saw another question in chat. Somebody was asking, if you start solo and then bring out a companion, does that put you on the duo leaderboard?
It does.
And
It does.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. There's you punch him.
Yes.
Oh.
I hit my inventory button. Boo.
So there's going to be another one coming up here. I'm sure
should
there's
get
going to be
another
another. Yeah, you should be able to get. There he was.
Yeah, Lauren killed him.
She's the tank, bro.
Remember the carry part of it?
Yeah, this is true. This is true. This is accurate.
So we're going to be going through an entire arc here.
Yes.
So everyone can kind
At
of see.
least an entire
Yeah,
arc
at
to
least,
kind
and
of
maybe
see.
even a little bit
A
more.
little bit more. A little bit
Just
more.
to kind of show how
Trying to show.
difficult-
So the difficulty increases as you, in more ways than one, as you progress through the arcs. Actually, is that yours, Lauren? Is
That's
that your
mine,
book?
yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so she got the verse that gives you a little book. One thing, real quick, Rich, hit F5. If you hit F5 up the corner, you'll see Mora's boons. These will let you know what your current verse is, and actually, we'll show it again when he gets a vision.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're just going to start.
Yep. That looks like a tipsy trial.
Lauren is all go, no stop. All right.
That was a tipsy trial point.
So you can see here, this is Crag the Drug King
Uh-oh,
from
I'm gonna
Fungal
die.
Grotto.
Oh, no, I'm
As you progress through this and as you fight these bosses more and more, you're going to see they're going to gain in difficulty. This is arc 1, so it's usually typically the easiest
first loot
portion of
moment.
this. This is the first big loot moment. There's your archival fortunes. He has ESO plus, so he gets an
bonus?
extra 10%. And this is where
You
your
didn't take
first.
the MG Soul Gem?
I did.
You didn't want that one?
This is the first chance for you to get a vision. So these are the long
Ooh.
duration.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. These are the long
me, for
duration
my
ones
build.
that will last for the entirety of your run. And if you see, for instance, if he kills another boss and he gets persistent pain again, it'll stack again. So those ones will, or you can stack them to get more effect from them.
And there's all kinds of really unique, cool animations that
For
the
sure.
UI team put together.
Absolutely.
I don't know if people saw that, but like when you accept a vision or a verse, you see it kind of bounce in
floats
the,
up to the
in
top.
the UI and
I mean, this whole
floats in
thing
there.
right here with the rotating stage cycles arc.
Yeah, so you can tell like a lot of care and effort was put in by the team on this. Like this is something that I think really got the team jazzed
Oh yeah, absolutely.
to be able to do. It's something different. It's not something we normally do. And it was just a ton
And it was a
of fun
lot
to
of
learn.
fun to be able to
To
kind
learn,
of
right? Like-
re-highlight. Yeah, there's a lot of learning. It was fun to be able to re-highlight some of the cool stuff that we've done in game before.
Right.
That maybe players, like I said, players that haven't played Trials or Dungeons before, you're going to see all kinds of bosses that maybe you haven't seen before. And even if you have, or maybe if you're exclusively a Trial or Dungeon player, you're going to see monsters from like the base game that maybe you haven't encountered yet before.
boy.
And it's going to be new and interesting. Not every, so there's tiers to the bosses that you'll fight. So based on whichever cycle you get to, so you're never going to get the same boss twice in a row. You're going to have, actually in every arc, you're going to get a selection of 4 different bosses. You get the fire orb. That one puts a little fire orb that has a tether between you, so you can do a lot of damage between you and somebody else. So after you transition here, hit F5 real quick, and that's where you can see that the verses and the visions have now their own like section, so you can see that.
And,
For those
and
who,
I'm just showing mouse and keyboard UI because that's
Yeah.
what I'm playing on, but this works 100% with the gamepad
For sure.
as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The team went to great care. Same thing with like the group finder tool that we did. I only showed, the PC UI, but
Right.
there is absolutely a gamepad UI as well. Oh, look.
So while you all are going through, I just want to answer a couple common questions that keep popping up in chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is no difficulty. There's no normal or vet. It's
Correct.
just you can do solo or you can do duo.
Yeah,
Right.
and the difficulty comes from how deep
How
you go.
far you
Yeah,
get.
how far you
and
go.
it's actually
It gets harder.
It's
Yep.
it's not.
It gets a lot harder.
To clarify a little bit, there is no difference between solo or duo difficulty.
Right.
Yes.
So if Rich was in here solo, the monsters have the same amount of health, do the same amount of damage.
Yep.
So you really have to build your character a specific way in order to kind of tackle solo. You have a little bit more flexibility with duo, but for those people with one friend, this is the perfect
Like-
piece of content.
Wow! Why did you look at Gina when you said that?
We looked at each other.
Wow.
When you're done, if you could bring up F5 again
Sure.
Okay.
for another question I see popping up.
Yep.
If you are in here with a friend,
Mm-hmm.
my assumption is you and your friend cannot summon companions, correct?
Correct. Yes, this is it's capped at 2 players. So if you're in, as a matter of fact,
A
if you
companion
are-
is considered a
if
player.
if you have a companion out and then your friend who is also in your group comes in here, your companion will desummon.
Right.
So yeah, it works just like
All right,
grouping
F5.
kind of it.
All right, so the verses and the visions.
Yep.
Yeah.
The verses are only by stage, correct?
Yes.
Correct. And
And
so
then-
as you can see here, he does not have a verse because they just completed a stage.
But I
Right.
will when I collect.
But
this.
he will when he clicks this.
And the visions persist throughout your
Throughout
entire
the entirety of the
Hey,
run.
it's Finn.
So the tomfoolery. Tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery.
So now I have a verse and a
And a
vision.
vision. Yes.
Just to answer another question in chat, this is free with Update 40. It's free for
Absolutely.
all players. It
The
is
base
not
game
tied
update.
to any chapters or DLCs, so
Oh, boy.
anybody can play it.
I won't light attack him this time.
This is
so you're
Dina Hawk, the trophy taker. So
Totally good.
we've had Argonian behemoths before in the game, and this is a very specific one. So again, one thing I do want to clarify is Rich and Lauren are on an internal server, but they are not playing with dev commands.
We're not cheating.
They are not cheating.
this
Is they're playing through natural because we want to give you guys an experience of what this can actually look like. So if you say that, hey, this stuff kind of looks
Easy?
it's because it is a little bit easy for them. But if you look at the layers that they're building on here, so they're going to choose another vision here. So when they do get to the more difficult portions of it, they have stacks of visions that are going to help them out according to how they build.
We'll take a little defense, just in case.
Little defense.
Are you
Yeah.
able to choose verses and visions for your companions?
No. That's another. Companions do not get verses and visions, so they will need to
Oy.
just be good.
Oh, I held that one in. That one hurt. I didn't want to sneeze on stream.
Oh, what? Oh, a sneeze.
I'm glad it was a sneeze.
I was like,
We literally just talked
Should
about that
we,
before
like-
stream.
For stream, yes.
People would be watering eyes.
Yeah, that would be bad.
oh, you're talking about holding it in.
So we got some Dramathra in here.
Ooh.
So if you remember those from various pieces of content, but in particular Maw of Lorcaj. As eventually they're going to come across. Or what cycle are you on? 3?
Yeah.
It says in the
It
UI.
says.
I know. That's
why
I
he looked
at it.
over
That's
there.
why I looked at it. Eventually, you're going to come across some bigger, stronger monsters that are going to appear. Those are fables or fabled. They are
jerks.
really
They're jerks.
They mimic a lot of the bannermen that we've done in Trials before, and they pop up, and they're outside of kind of the monster sets that you'll see. So every once in a while, you'll see a fabled flame shaper or a fabled sun eater or something like that, and they'll pop up, and they're like, oh, they should be a kind of a priority target. You should focus on.
Oh.
So this is something new. This is a portal to the unknown. So as you
That sounds safe.
yeah, as you traverse through here,
Oh.
Well, let him explain what it is first. Hold on.
as you traverse through here, you will get these portals to the unknown.
believe in
These are what we affectionately call side content.
Flip.
And and it's varied which one you're going to get. Sometimes you get turned into a goat and you have to eat sweet rolls and get away from people.
That one's my
Sometimes you get turned into a watcher and you have to find tome shells. And each one of these will give you a verse for the next stage. So the next stage you will be starting with two verses as opposed to one verse. So they have that advantage. Not only that,
This is where I get carried.
They're
Let's do it,
all
Lauren.
part of. They're also
I don't know
part
about
of a. This is the wisp herding.
Yeah, where you gotta.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them, aren't there?
I only saw one.
No, this is these escalate in difficulty. The more you see these, the harder that they are going to get. And there
Yeah,
are
we
certain
did it.
achievement. So this was the easy one because this
I mean,
is the
that
first
was
time
really
they've.
easy.
We did the easy one.
They've
It
only
was just the
only
first
seen
one.
this the first one.
Okay.
As you progress and you do this
Ooh.
more and more, it gets more and more difficult.
I got a fragment to the
you got
board deck.
a new fragment for a deck. You get another loot moment, and
New
this is where you
patron
get your
deck.
second verse. So whatever he goes into with the in the next arena, he'll have 2 verses.
So now I have 2.
Now he has 2.
So I've seen a number of players asking, is there a minimum level you have to be
No.
to do this content?
Nope. Nope.
Or a suggested level or CP, or can anybody go
Nope.
in? at any
Anybody
time?
can
Go
go
in
in
and do
here, and the goal was that Arc 1 is kind of the when you come in here and you talk to Master Malcust, he'll explain the stakes and give you the lowdown on what's going on in here. And really the goal is for you to complete Arc 1. Once you're done with Arc 1, you can go and turn in your quest and you can leave if you really want to.
Oh, hey, I see gold piles on the ground.
Yeah, I see that too. Or you can keep going, but the idea is the quest, the main quest will target you completing Arc 1, and then that quest turns into a daily. So every day you come in here, you can kind of complete Arc 1 and continue the
Yeah, Arc 1 is a little bit more accessible,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's story mode,
no.
but it is definitely kind
on
of
the easier side.
balanced
Once you dip your
somewhere
toes in,
between kind of like normal and vet.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep. Depending, I mean, some of the bosses in
Some
Arc
of them are
1
hard,
Some
yeah.
of the bosses in Arc 1.
The tier 3 and 4 ones.
Yeah, the tier 3 and 4 ones. I think you guys had who'd you have earlier? Molimnir?
Yeah.
Molimnir was pretty tough. So
This is a boss one, right?
Stage 2, so one.
Oh,
you
one
got
more.
one more. You
Okay.
got one more.
That's why we have that little
yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I had
very
the
helpful.
notification
notification
underneath. Yeah. So you don't
Now,
have to
once-
remember it anymore.
Once you leave,
Yeah.
that's it, right? It ends your run, or is there a way to kind of
So
like save your progress?
you cannot save your progress because of the nature of how everything is going to be different and how you're going to build your character and your run in
Right.
here. So there is no saving progress or jumping ahead or skipping ahead or anything like that. You're going to start fresh every single time you come in here. And when you leave, you have a certain amount of time to come back in before the kind of instance spins down. But when Rich returns to the index later, I'll show you some cool things that
Yeah, we'll show the vendors and some of the other stuff.
and some cool things that we implemented to allow players to manipulate that a little bit. Now it's the boss.
Now it's the
Yeah.
boss.
Yes.
Break free doesn't help me much.
Well, you don't know. It might.
Yeah,
It
I
might
guess.
help you. It might
You
help
don't know
you.
Depends on
what
what
you're
the
gonna
boss
get.
is.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends on what the boss is. So this is the thing: is you don't know which boss is going to show
Here we
up.
go.
Ooh, I got a good one for a boss.
Oh, did you?
Uh-oh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just saw this question pop up. We are going to be adding a new deck to Tales of
Oh,
Tribute.
no.
It's the Hermaeus Mora patron
Yes.
deck.
So this is Prior Theoric from Red Petal Bastion fame. And this is where you're going to see a highlight of kind of, it's the mechanics that you may be familiar with if you run this dungeon, but it's a little bit different.
Tuned for 1 to 2.
Tuned for 1 to 2 players, for sure. They're going ham on him right now. Oh, there's the spinning blades. Rich loves those.
Yeah.
Don't get kicked into the spinning blades.
Wait. No.
So they're going ham kind of on this. Oh, there's the...
Kinda.
Got him. No
yeah.
problem.
Oh, Theric is down. So cycle 3 is complete. So they're going to have
Bacon.
one more cycle, and then they get to fight Thoat.
Ooh, boy. Make them bleed. Physical and bleed attacks.
So far away, I can't read.
Your direct damage increases.
Direct damage increases by...
Enemies
that one
may
say?
hit hard, but you
Refined
feel better
restoration.
already.
Okay, we'll go with that
So
one.
yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Lauren gets a different choice of versus
Absolutely.
envisions
Yeah, for sure.
than Rich.
Yeah.
And,
that
her,
helps.
and her monitor is way over there, so
Yeah.
we're trying to help her.
If I'm squinting, can't
and
see.
it helps if because like I said, if you come in here with a healer
Oh, there's a
or a
Fabled down
tank.
here.
Oh,
Oh,
there's the
boy.
Fabled. There's a Fabled Sun Eater.
Oh, our favorite Sun Eaters.
There's the Fabled Sun Eater. They look, they're not, like I said, Arc 1, they're not quite as difficult as you might see them when you see them later
They're
on,
still
but they
chunky.
definitely become a priority target later on. So, like I was saying, like
There's a tank move.
everybody gives, pull
should've knew
the
that.
embassy
I
out of your
should've knew
AoEs.
that, No, that
Pull
was just a
everything
heavy
out of your
attack.
dots.
that I missed, but uh-oh.
If a tank, has enough defense and they want to build for offense, then that's going to inform the kind of their vision choices.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a DPS, especially when you get higher up into the later arcs,
Those Fableds get really scary.
and you're going to want to choose the right verse and visions in order to add survivability to your run.
I saw somebody mention the new currency, and something I don't think that we've mentioned yet
Mm-hmm.
is
Ooh,
it
I got a
doesn't
gift
cap.
of life.
It does not cap. You're
So-
right. The new
Yeah,
currency
it's
is
uncapped.
not capped.
Hey, look, there's a merchant here.
There he is.
So cute.
He is. Those are the filers. Those are
You get some
different
things.
ways-
Here's some of
Here's
the scrolls that you can get as
this,
extra
this isn't the
bonuses.
main vendor.
No,
No,
this
this
isn't the
is-
main vendor, but this guy appears at the end of every stage.
Just before the final. Well, at the end, yeah.
At the end of every stage, and you can choose stuff to buy for gold. You can repair here, but
here.
not only that, he has a couple, or it has a couple of things available for purchase with archival fortunes. So those mystery verses, those are random, and you can just use them when you're in a stage,
I
and it
pick?
automatically adds another.
Oh yeah,
verse
extra
to it.
life because I might need that.
Oh, that's a good question. As far as the lives, what do you call them?
Threads of Fate.
Threads of Fate. Do they share the 3, or do they have 3 each?
No,
Actually,
that's a
good
good
call,
That's a
yeah.
really good question. So the way it works is, typically in the original trial implementation, it was when somebody died, you lost a life, and then once all of your lives were gone, nobody could resurrect. In this, when you're duo,
is an
you do not lose a thread of fate until both players or player and companion have died. So if you're solo and you die, you're going to lose a thread. But if you're duo, it gives you a chance to recover. It gives you a chance for your friend to come, or your person you're playing with, to come and... if it's not your friend.
Your rented friend.
Yeah, your rent a friend.
Rent a friend.
It gives you a chance to for them to recover and resurrect you.
Ooh, I got a
Augmented
good one, too.
areas.
Area effects. Ooh.
Tough choice. Tough choice.
Yeah.
It is just. It is just stage 3 though, so you don't quite have boss
okay.
stage yet. Yes,
I mean, that would have been really good for a boss.
that would have been good for a boss for sure.
Yeah, he's on
So
the
as
top
you
of
can
this.
see, as you're kind of going through here, you're making these choices every single stage to try and get as far as you can.
Well,
was
that
a
flame
fabled-
shaper went down.
That was a fabled flame shaper. It is surprising sometimes you get a verse that's like super powerful
like,
and
"Oh
then
my
things just
gosh."
melt. Again, early arcs are you're gonna see that a lot more than
Yeah.
you'll see it in later arcs.
And just to reiterate, each stage is randomized. So,
Correct.
like, all these monsters, they could show up anywhere, anytime. It's
Even-
not a set.
Right.
Even
Well,
the actual stage itself, like,
Yeah.
it's not the same order through it every
Right.
time.
Correct. Correct. And the monsters are
another
kind
really
of
cool
curated
space.
into sets. So generally, if you fight the Silver Rose or from Red Petal Bastion, you're going to see a group of the Silver Rose monsters, and then you'll see another set added into. So it could be goblins, or one time, or it could be tree spirits another time, or something. So you'll see kind of the same sets of monsters as you go through. But
This
the
is
Fables,
the sexy boss one.
the wounds you inflict do not close.
I got a good one for boss.
Yeah.
And yes, you do get XP in here.
You
I
do.
saw that
Absolutely.
called out.
You do get XP in here.
One ancient grain is worth one plating, yes.
Yes.
And one ancient plating is worth 10 new plates.
Oh, you got Nazare.
All right. Well, enjoy the bleeds.
I saw,
Go ahead.
somebody talking about how, they're just kind of going through these enemies pretty quickly.
Yes,
I mean,
they
they're
are.
still really early on, and they're both like max CP right now.
Yeah, they're good.
Obviously
Like,
know what
we
they're
play the
doing.
game.
so,
we
yeah.
fully expect so part of this is, and what we were trying to do with this is provide an experience for not just the high end players and not just story players. It is an experience that's going to continuously get more and more difficult. So yes,
It gets
while
challenging.
you can kind of blow through the first sections, the first arcs and stuff like that,
For experienced players, yeah.
for experienced players, eventually it's going to get tough, and that's where the leaderboards are going to come in. That's where you're going to get, as you progress through this, you get more archival fortunes. So it's worth it to kind of delve deeper into this. Effortless acrobatics,
Max health.
full coffers.
I'm going to go straight up defense.
There you go, defense.
So, and I know you called this out. There's offensive, defensive, and utility, but we also call that out on the tooltips as well, right?
Right.
Like, so this is a vision. You can see in the top left corner, it's defensive.
And you can only get the option
There's
for
a utility
one
there.
category per thing. So you get the option of two visions, or two visions. Those are going to be one from offense, defense, and utility, and the other one from whatever wasn't chosen.
Yep.
So this is heading into the final arc where they're going to end on Thoat Replicanum. There's a Fabled there. Fabled Sun Eater that did not last long.
And again, this will be on our test server on
On
Monday for
Monday!
everyone to try.
So
We're
excited.
going to be keeping an eye on a lot of feedback and
everything.
some balance
Yeah,
and
for
all of that,
sure,
so we can
for
certainly
sure.
make some tweaks. if,
Absolutely.
Final
things
balance.
just don't seem right.
Yeah, and that's good. We want people to come in here and play it and give that feedback on what they think and how their overall experience is and stuff like that. You can actually, like I said, there's no varying difficulty between normal and duo. So if you want to really challenge
There's the
yourself, come in
assault
here
skill.
solo and build a character for that. Or if you want to bring a friend in here and see as far as you can go and just lay waste to the early arcs and then layer on those visions so it really helps you.
So some internal play tests, right?
Yeah.
We've done. I know Lauren has been to Arc 7.
More.
She's been further than Arc 7. She's been
Deeper
further
than that
than-
now.
yeah, yeah.
And trust me, it gets
It's
brutal.
meaty.
It
Yes,
gets brutal.
It
Yes.
gets pretty brutal. At
Even
the
as a
higher
tank,
arc.
it's
Yeah, even
tough.
as a tank. Yep. So there's a Fabled Spirit Thief. Again, the Fableds are curated from a lot of different bannermen that you would see in the world, and they are not tied to the monster sets. I talked about monster sets that you would appear. Even if you see undead and forest spirits, that doesn't correlate to whatever fable that you'll see.
Oh, Gina's looking at chat.
Spicy can reference the pain train.
Choo choo.
That's from years and
Maybe
years
on
ago.
Wow.
The pain chain. So again,
stage
more,
2?
more cool, unique
Yeah,
world
this-
building. Like sometimes you got to look up.
Yes. It's the bane of our existence. People don't look up.
People don't look up ever. Nobody looks up.
Yeah, look up, Gina.
That was so good. That was so good. Oh.
I saw somebody asking about class sets. We are going to visit the vendor in a a little bit. We can show
Well, we're
some,
gonna
show some
show you
tooltips
some
and
too.
stuff.
So
yeah,
when you
we'll
when
show
you
some stuff.
complete an arc, so when you defeat Thoat Replicanum,
You're guaranteed.
you're guaranteed to get a class set
Set
drop,
piece.
and each time you do it. So every 5th cycle, Thoat Replicanum is the boss. So
Yep.
as you progress through, you know that every arc ends with Thoat Replicanum.
Yep. And there
You're gonna
may
see
be
her-
other
you're gonna
ways
see
you
her
can
every
get
fifth-
them
every 5th cycle.
as drops
Or fifth
as
arc.
well,
Yep.
which we may or may not talk about. We'll see.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. We're probably definitely going to see it.
Probably. And then, yes, there's always the vendors as well.
Here we got some Silver Rose in here. And 4 Spirits. Good. So what are you guys on? Stage 3. All right, so you got
we're
Thoat
almost there.
coming next.
Yeah.
Yep. Come on, RNG. Give me something good.
All right, Thoat.
What do we got?
Guild superiority, so
Okay.
your guild abilities do
Yep,
more.
that helps. Or if I take
Better at defending from anyone foolish enough to hit you.
I'm going to take this one.
All right. It's all. I hope you have your
Ooh.
AoE ready.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
side
another one.
portal.
Do it, do
Another
it.
side portal.
That's nice.
Lucky.
Those are
Okay,
not,
so this
depending.
is the Lost Librarian. So what this guy does is he tasks you with finding pages as you're progressing through Endless Archive. So you're going to get a quest from him. You don't have to get the quest now.
I'm
You
not
can
gonna
if
get
you
it.
want to.
I'm not gonna
We
do
don't
it
want
for
to spoil
spoilers.
kind of the story here. But this guy is just trapped in the Endless Archive, and he'll give you a quest to pick up pages to kind of
That
complete
sucks.
to kind of complete his thing. And what's great about this side content is like from now on, as you're in Endless Archive, you'll see these pages all
Yep.
over the place, and you'll want to go and pick them up.
Yes, there's some cool rewards.
Yes. So here's
Ooh,
Thoat.
brand new boss
So
room.
this is the one very unique arena that a lot of players or that we haven't seen yet. Thoat's going to appear here. Master Malkest is going to
I'm going to go drop this right here.
taunt her. Here she comes.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What's going on?
So she's a new monster, unique to this experience. She uses fragmentations of herself when she's fighting, so you're going to see her break off different pieces of herself, and they're going to do different things.
Probably heal myself.
You should probably heal yourself. She drops a lot of AoEs, as you can tell. She's going to summon a sword here in a minute. Master Melkest is
Spoilers.
trying to kick in. Look at that. He's
Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
Oh,
we
there
go.
it is.
Lag.
Internal
Yeah.
server. Internal server.
Internal server.
Internal server,
I
right.
was like, what's going on?
So she has her sword out now, so she's trying to lay waste to Lauren. She does this really cool teleport mechanic with that heavy attack. Master Melkest is trying to fisticuffs in there to
pretty
lend
chunky.
his help.
She's got some health.
She does have some beefy health. She's going to do this.
There's
Going
the
to summon the
sword.
giant eyeball.
Who's
And
it on?
this puts a
on me.
explosion on the ground that
Oh,
will follow one of the people in here. So you need to be careful of that because it does a whole lot of damage. She's also going to have these little like glass prisms that are gonna appear on the ground that you're going to want to take out. And the good thing about Thoat is every time you fight her in progressive arcs. So in Arc 1, this is kind of the experience you're going to get. She's going to do all these things. And as you get to Arc 2, she changes up a little bit. She has more monsters she summons. Her arena gets a little bit different. And it keeps progressing that way the more you fight her. I think up to about Arc 4 or 5,
Sweet.
she
I got a partner.
progressively gets adds layers to what she can do.
I got a friend.
There we go. Thoat is
Yay.
down. So this is the first Arc 1 complete, and this is the first chance you have to loot an actual class item.
All right, drum roll.
Drum roll.
I'm expecting. Look, I got.
You got
Fat
Wrath
boots.
Sun shoes.
Fancy that. I wonder how that happened.
Ah, so these drops are curated.
They are curated to the class.
To the class.
Which helps.
So Rich is a Templar, so he got
Yep.
the Wrath Sun shoes. This is part of the Templar class skill set.
And one of the design aspects for class sets is to focus on an individual skill line in the class
Right.
and really kind of change up gameplay for them. So in this, I'm sure you've seen the tooltip here, but whenever I use a Dawn's Wrath ability, it puts a stack on a creature. Once I hit 50 stacks, then I drop a Nova on them. And it is amazing. It's
It
so
is.
awesome
It
dropping
drop-
Novas
just
all over the
fat
place.
Novas dropping all over the place. It's so good.
You know, it's a ton of fun. It kind of changes things up a little bit. And at launch of the system, activity, whatever we want to call it, at the
Yeah.
launch of Endless Archive, there is one unique class set for every class.
Class, right. 7 sets.
Now, the math there, right? That's 7 sets. We
Right.
still have a
But
lot more
there
sets
are
to
21
do.
class skill lines.
There are.
Rich.
So you can do the math there. We plan on adding more of these in the future as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is really cool. It adds a ton. It changes up things. They
They are curated. Yeah.
They are
curated.
curated to the class, so they'll drop as as part of the class once you get them all. Then it goes random. You can come in here in other classes and get those, or I should probably go back to the vendor and show.
Well, yeah,
the vendor.
we'll do that after you get to the next arena. Use the little
Yeah, we'll go
the
back.
little portal back.
That looks good.
I would do fortification.
Now, what are you saying?
Nah, more damage.
Yeah.
That means
I've
do
got
the
Lauren.
opposite.
I got
Lauren's
Lauren.
gonna
I got
protect
Lauren.
So you can always go back to the
At-
index at
yeah.
any time. That's what these little.
That's what that little thing is.
Portals
At
are?
the start of at the start of each stage, there's this little thing. It mimics what you use to actually in order to enter, and this is the index. And you can come back here at any time. Like I said, this is not timed. So if you need to come back here and do whatever, you can come back here, hang out. There's a merchant up here. This is where we get to see the cool new merchant.
Some of the cool stuff.
Filer Tizzers.
There's a giant list here. Obviously, we've still got some icon things that we have
Yep.
to do, but there's also a set of filters up
For sure.
in the top that you can go through. So some of the collectibles.
So this is really good. You have some deck fragments here that you can use Archival Fortunes for. There's also these things that are called account unlocks. Now, these are part of the roguelike inspired permanent progression. As you complete the achievements related to the side content, you get the option to buy these. And some of these are really, really powerful.
This is freaking awesome.
So, for
Sweeter
instance,
deal, like-
Sweeter Deal, this
my
gives you
goodness.
the option to see a third verse choice in every single run. So instead of just getting 2 choices, you now will have a choice of offense, defense, and utility every single time you see it.
There's some
So
of
those are
consumables
definitely
we saw.
worth wanting to unlock.
There's a whole bunch of unique furnishings in here
Yep.
that you can get, and then there's a bunch of miscellaneous things you can get, like Telvars. You can vendors, you can get
Materials,
materials. There's some gold that you can get out of this. There are curated sets
Yep.
and then uncurated sets in here, so you can kind of. Early on, a strategy might be I go in and I
I don't
buy
have
a
a
few
lot
of the
of
blue
right. I
ones
don't
first, 'cause
have
I'm
a lot of
probably
them
not gonna get
unlocked.
dupes.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not going to get dupes. Probably.
So this is the Arcanist one. I figured I'd drop that one in there. There's some cool stuff with it. This is one of my favorite ones. Is the Nightblade one,
Nightblade one is really good.
which
Yes.
essentially what it does is your abilities use some ultimate
Yep.
up to empower them to make them do more damage
Yes.
and whatnot in that skill line. So lots of really cool stuff in here. Yes, I noticed people are looking at my gold that I have. I used the template. I cheated to set it up. It's internal server. But that's the vendor, and
Isn't there also a mount?
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, there is. It's achievement.
I mean, I
based.
know there
achievement-based.
is
Yeah,
because
It's
I
achievement
wrote
based.
it in the
Yeah,
patch
yeah,
notes,
yeah.
but I
There's
just
a-
couldn't
there's
remember
achievement
where.
based. There's
Okay.
achievement based.
So you
one
gotta do a
thing-
bunch of stuff.
Wait, don't go in there yet. So if you turn around, let's say if you want to, this little doohickey right here. Let's say you've been in here for a couple hours, you got pretty deep, but you just ran out of time, and you want to end your run. You can actually interact with this as Runic Threadweaver, and it will drop your threads to 0. You can't ever go in here. You can't go further, but it also will basically end your run for a leaderboard score.
Yeah, prints your
and
leaderboard
then
score,
you can still stay in here,
Yep.
and you can visit the vendors and stuff. And then this little awesome hourglass here, this is a reset hourglass, and what this does is if you interact with this, it will basically shut the instance down.
resets the instance,
It
yeah.
shuts the instance down like dungeons do, and everybody gets the little timer that they need to exit and leave, and then it'll reset it so you can just jump right back in. So no more getting out and like swapping group leaders and all kinds of crazy
Ooh,
stuff.
I haven't been here a long time.
Yeah.
All right, so Arc 2. You're going to get to
Arc
see some of the
2.
difficulty.
So you're going
Not
to
there
see
yet.
some.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's all
I
right.
started without her.
I'm here.
Oh, no.
So this is Arc 2, Cycle 1 of Arc 2. There's a fabled
There's
Sun
a
Eater
Sun
right
Eater.
there.
Oh, boy.
Rich is already getting punched in the face with giant rock fists.
Stood in the stupid.
And yes, don't stand in the stupid. So there's some other wrinkles here. Not only that, so we mentioned that stages and cycle will increase the difficulty, so things will get a little more difficult as you progress. But also arcs are a bigger jump.
That's
so you're going to see
big jump. Yeah.
you're going to see a lot. The mobs are going to have a lot more health.
That actually
the
really
fableds are a little bit more intense, and there's actually some new wrinkles there. When they see it, I will call it out.
Oh, you'll hear it.
Yeah,
You'll hear it. We'll be like, oh,
I think we did this in Lauren was like, oh no.
I'm not getting beat down.
I'm ready.
There you go. You got it.
Actually, no, I'll get beat down.
All right. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
I saw somebody asking earlier, are the bosses and the monsters that you're going to see in here tied to the content that you have access to, or could it
Nope.
be anywhere?
They're
be
pulled
anywhere.
from everywhere. So even if you, yeah, that's a good question, because even if you haven't seen some of these bosses, like if you haven't done, you know, if you
One of
don't
the
have
DLC
access
dungeons or something.
to elsewhere or something
Oh,
like
there's a
that, or
Sun
a
Eater.
DLC dungeon, yeah, there's Sun Eater. If you don't have access to those, or you haven't seen those before, they're still going to pop up, and you're still going to have to kind of learn how to deal with them.
Vanguard's got some health.
Yes. Back to Daedra here, Ogrims and Daedros. Running roughshod over. Actually, Lauren's doing pretty good. Rich, not so much. Lauren's doing great.
As expected.
As
Yeah,
expected.
I was gonna say, that's
as
pretty
expected.
I just charged
The
in
hard
headlong.
carry. So this is cycle, or this is stage 2. So we're ooh,
Ooh, that's
you don't want to hit him.
that's not good.
You don't want to hit. He reflects.
Backseat player.
I
huh?
know, right? I'm like,
Spoilers.
spoiler alert.
That was not player test. Actually, it was player test.
Yeah, it was player test. Yeah, absolutely. There's an Ascended Vanguard. All right. Stage 2 is complete.
Where's it?
I
Up
have,
top?
I have
Down here.
faith that you're going to
Go
get.
down here. We're gonna get some
You're
difficulty.
gonna get some. You get a little bit more. Like I said, the arcs naturally progress. So really experienced players that are used to doing stuff like trials.
Oh,
and
hey, look at
dungeons,
that!
stuff like
Damage
that
over
are
time
fun.
heals me. That seems like a good thing. I think
They're
I'll
going to
take
have
that.
a bit easier time in the early arcs, but again, you're building that run. You're building that.
You can already
that-
feel the difference.
Yeah,
like
you absolutely
monsters are lasting way longer now than they were.
This is
Yeah.
one of the first arenas we actually built.
Stuff hurts a lot more. Yeah, this is a potentially painful arena.
Endless arc. Yeah, you saw the
over
pop up
here.
and you were like, wait. Oh, all right, never mind. There's a spirit thief. They like to put those little time bombs out.
Oh. They'll spawn behind me. Where are
Surprise.
they?
L2 tank.
Yeah.
Just kidding. You're doing great.
I was gonna say,
You're doing
wait a
great.
minute.
You're doing great. So you're gonna fight your first boss on Arc, or Arc 2, coming up.
So
Alright.
for anybody who maybe tuned in a little bit late, we're showing off Endless Archive. It's a new PvE activity coming in Update 40. This is content that is going to be for free for all players. It's not tied to a chapter or a DLC. You can go solo or you can go duo with either a friend or a companion.
companion.
See how I
Who'd we get?
pointed at you
There
when
you
I
go,
said
yeah,
friend?
yeah.
Queen of the Reef.
Queen of the
Uh-oh.
Reef. The giant coral crab.
Yeah.
When are patch notes? Monday. Monday. So
Monday
this
is
is
patch-
coming to PTS on
Monday
Monday.
is fun day.
Match
Monday,
Posts
fun day.
is
Yep.
Monday.
Gotta finish
So like
it
I said,
first,
there's
I'm telling you.
like I said, there's a lot of stuff that players may have seen before, and as you're
Hey, there's a gold pile.
yeah.
Yeah, that was your verse. That's awesome.
So yeah, kind of as you go through, you're going to see now the within each arc, each cycle is kind of again it's curated. So there's only a selection of bosses that would appear in cycle 1, 2, 3, or 4, with 3 and 4 being the harder of those. But again, once you get up higher in arcs, all the cycles are going to be pretty difficult. It's just a matter of the layering on the mechanics. You
And-
can also see that he's getting more archival fortunes because he's in arc 2 now.
Yep.
So he got
loot
330
slowly gets better,
as opposed to 200. We got this. Let's do it. How many verses?
I can
do you
feel
have?
it building.
How you
I'm
feel?
nervous.
I can totally
I'm
feel it
nervous. I'm nervous.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is where you got it when we were doing.
think we got
it the
this.
first.
No, we got it. We got it on
It
stage
It was the
one.
very first
Yeah.
one.
It was stage
But
one.
I
yeah.
meant this specific.
Oh, yeah.
Where you had it.
Any
goody.
news on when
Oh,
this hits
goody.
PTS? Yes.
Nope.
Monday.
Monday.
Monday in just a few days.
September 18th.
Few days, and then it's launching October 30th for PC and Mac, and then
Yep.
November 14th for consoles.
Yeah, so there's a very specific thing we're looking for here. And like I said, we have
subtle.
I know, right?
So subtle.
we have to reinforce the point that they're playing live. They're playing with all of the elements that are here, the randomness and stuff like that. So in order to give you guys a good experience here, or a good idea of what to expect when coming in here. So we're going into stage 2 of cycle 2.
I think I'll do that one. Or should I have another life?
I don't think you'll need another life. What's the worst that could happen? I don't think you're going to need another life.
Fine.
You got the pestilence, so you get a little skeever.
I got Lauren.
Yeah, you get a little
Lauren will
skeever.
save
We got a tome shell too.
You got a tome
Nice.
shell
Okay.
and a skeever helping
Good.
out here.
All right.
That's
Good.
probably good.
Here we go.
It's probably
Do,
it's at the
do.
top of the stairs. Fabled.
There's a Fabled up there.
Yeah. Don't hurt me.
Well, does that work when you yell that?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not in the face. No, that's probably not right.
No. Yeah, so again, curated monsters here. You're fighting Durzogs and Sun Eaters and all kinds of stuff. These little tome shells will help you out, provide you a buff for this arena. And we're in what?
I should probably go up
stage
here.
3. Yep. You probably want
I dropped
the
all my
spell
AoEs
ward.
on
You
the
are
other
actually are going to get as you progress through. You saw them, the Fableds early on in the first arc, but as you progress through the arcs, you're going to get more of them further on. So stage 2 is complete. So
Ooh,
we're heading to
that's a good
stage
one.
3. Magical multitudes. Your area effects create diverging energy or
Let's do
bountiful resources. There you go.
Let's do that one.
I got a fun one.
Oh, it looks like you did.
So somebody's
Oh.
asking a question with the new group finder tool
Yeah.
that we talked about earlier. Can they use that for Battlegrounds too? And
You can use it for custom activities as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it's at the bottom. of the
pretty
stairs.
much anything you can think of,
Yeah.
you can make a group for.
And that's we actually were that was thought about when we kind of developed it was
Yeah.
wanting the ability to have custom activities because anytime we would introduce anything new or something like that, I mean heck you can role play. You can
Yeah,
set
you
up
can
a
make a
custom
role
activity
play.
role
True.
play
Yep,
and stuff.
100%.
You can
Or
ERP
housing
with,
tours
you
if
can
you
ERP
wanted
with
to,
the,
right? Like,
the group finder.
hey, we're going to go on a whole bunch of housing tours. Join the group and just jump
so
to
sorry.
us, right? Like,
What'd
you
say?
tried.
What'd you do?
She tried.
Missed
I was
on
like,
the
"Oh,
big
no."
guy.
You tried.
Good reflexes.
That was good reflexes. Good cover, Rich. Good cover. Stage 3 is complete, so we're heading into another boss stage.
Oh, yeah.
now, like
I love
Finn
that.
mentioned, we're looking for something very specific here that
Yes,
He's being very coy.
let's
spawns
not do it.
randomly.
Should I? Let's click it.
All
I
right,
wanna see
we'll
it.
do a portal. We'll see what's in
wanna
here.
see
Oh,
it.
this
This
is
guy
the
again.
duelist.
This is
So
good.
this is another piece of content. So this person is in here as well in the Endless Archive, and she's just here to challenge people, put them through their paces. She uses Arcanist abilities, teleporting all around, putting AoEs on people. So yeah, like I said, as the side content kind of gets more and more difficult, she's along the lines too. Is once you fight her at like the 5th level or the 5th time you've seen her, she gets pretty beefy and it's a pretty tough challenge for you.
Oh, tentacles. Nice.
Did you say tentacles? Nice. Clip that.
Somebody did. I'm sure. I'm sure somebody did. Gina can't help it.
No,
She's dying.
This is going downhill.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
It's hot
great.
in here.
It is hot. It's
So hot. I'm glad you said it. It's so
warm
hot in
it's
here.
So warm in here.
There we go.
It's not because
All
we're
right,
talking
so
about
the
tentacles.
Whoa.
they were able to
He
defeat.
went there. Oh, no.
So this gives you another uniment chest.
Another loot
A
moment.
little bit
Ooh,
of
another deck
you get
fragment.
another deck fragment. You get another verse. So this is what we talked about. Is you get the second verse. So they're heading into a boss.
Yes.
And getting
More
a
AoE.
second verse, heading into a boss
Is
is
awesome.
Pretty awesome. All right, and
And of course,
and
it's
it's
Void
Void Mother. Okay, now this is not the one from Vatishrin. This is the one
mean-
from. This is the one from the base from Markarth.
Right.
So you don't. It's not quite as scary as if
That's
it was.
okay. We got
yeah.
lots of AoE fun.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
Like
wow.
melted her. Yeah, I know, right? Just
I had-
I
her
didn't even
in
get
the
to
face.
use this.
I had
It's a-
some-
so if you look at it, it's four verses in that. That's a lot of meat on
I
the
had
bone
buffs.
there. Yeah.
That was
You didn't
sweet.
want the Rabido?
No.
Do you have your full Rabido set?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, more stam regen.
Stam regen. All right, so we are going to head to make a choice.
Wow. Spicy.
That
Wow.
got you scared.
It's ramping up.
It is ramping up. It is
it's,
ramping up in difficulty here.
Fabled over here.
There's a Fabled.
Who is it?
Oh man, I was hoping
The
you get
Sun Eater?
I was hoping you would get the
Yeah.
right on a
wait.
Fable too. That would be great. So I'll go ahead and talk about it so everybody's not wondering what the hell we're talking about. Starting in Arc 2, as you progress through here, through the stages, not the cycles and not the arc, you get a random chance that a Marauder will spawn. And a Marauder is a super beefy, special, unique monster. It's a completely new loot moment, too. So if you're able to defeat it, you get another class set item. But the special things about Marauders, are they are a one and done. First of all, they're really scary. But not only that, they're a one and done. If you fail to defeat the Marauder, then they go away, and you don't. And they will appear again.
You don't get a second chance.
They don't get a second chance. You don't get to respawn and fight it again.
I would say the Marauder is the scariest monster I've ever encountered in the game. It is just
a lot coming from you.
And especially in the
stages.
Deeper arcs.
Yeah, and then the deeper arcs, they get better. And you're fighting stages with fabled monsters, and then all of a sudden a Marauder shows up. And you're like, oh no, now I have to deal with this
the
thing.
Marauder and the rest of the stuff.
The Marauder and the rest of the stuff. So that's, again, another opportunity for us to kind of like augment gameplay. You don't know when you're going to get it. Like you said, the last time we did this, when they were running through this to kind of get their feet under them, they caught it in the first
first stage
of Arc 2.
First stage of Arc 2.
Whereas now they're, cycle 3, stage 2. Yeah. So yeah, they've gone through a bit more, and like I said, you get one shot. If they remove your thread, they're gone, and you don't get that loot moment. I have faith. It'll be soon.
Yeah, that's kinda
now there is a
cool
guarantee. There's a guarantee that
This is my favorite.
there is a guarantee that the one will show up within this arc.
You
so
just
once
don't know
Arc 2
where.
starts, you just don't know where.
one.
You don't know which stage.
That's why
in
we're
which
all
cycle.
nervy,
Yeah,
because
that's why
we
it's
know
all
it's
nervous.
coming.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
know
well, how
it's
do we deal
coming.
with it?
Yeah, exactly.
Ouch.
And not only that, as the stages progress and get a little bit more difficult, that Marauder, when they show up, is going to be more difficult.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it.
It's gonna,
Literally,
you're gonna get it on Cycle 4, Stage 3.
Of course
it's gonna
we
be
are.
that boss. Yeah.
Of course, because that's how my RNG works.
Yep. I love the clickety clack. Everybody's getting sweaty.
Everyone's concentrating,
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody's getting sweaty in here. You will notice that there's more monsters here. Like when they were in Arc 1, there was a little bit less. That's one of the knobs that we have to turn to kind of out difficulty. You're going to fight more monsters. Stage 3 complete. It is time for another boss.
Sweet.
And you're on what, cycle 3?
3.
Cycle
Yeah.
4? Cycle 3?
This is 3.
Okay. Okay. Who you got? I like that we've seen all kinds of. Oh, look, we got Kalurian from Fang Lair. So I do like that they've seen a unique selection of bosses we've gone through here. Like I said, there's 60+ bosses that we've kind of curated
Oh, we have
from
a
all
friend
over the place.
in the back.
Oh, is there a friend?
Oh,
yay! There's
Kill this
that.
guy. You're on your
That's
own.
you,
I'm gonna kill this guy.
You, the pilferer.
Come back.
And what
There you go.
that is another piece of side content. It shows up only in boss arenas. And so at the end of cycles. And if you're able to kill it, it's again more chances for loot. So you don't know when that's going to show up. And so you basically head on a swivel, keep your wits about you so that you can see when that shows up. And look at that. You got a lead.
Oh, I got a lead.
Always skipping the empty soul gems.
On live, I'd loot them because I'd fill them up.
Yeah, right.
But on dev,
Or
well, not
wherever we
RC,
are.
wherever we are.
Wherever we are.
Pets deal more damage.
Nope.
See, that's pretty sexy, but I don't have any pets.
Yeah.
Get
would
more
take-
health
I would take
recovery.
that.
That's actually really useful.
That is very useful. Yes. So now we're heading
now-
into cycle 4.
Yep. More cool new spaces. So look, there's my
There's
visions
his
now.
visions. You can see,
You
that
can see I'm
he's
really
very
starting to build stuff up.
Absolutely.
You can see the stat counts.
It's a lot.
And
Yep.
then, yeah, like, look at the freaking world building.
Yeah. We like I said, this is in Apocrypha, so you're definitely going to see some of those elements put together in kind of a unique way. Let's see what we.
Who's your fabled?
There he is.
There he is.
Oh.
Marauder Hillcrest.
Lauren was ready.
So there it is. This is the
Okay.
Marauder.
Well, buckets. We should save
Marauder
Don't
comes in,
don't
so you-
kill the. There's enough fabled too with him. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so you can see Hillcrest. It's one of the scions.
Just leave the.
Whoa! Ooh, Richabel died.
Just leave the fabled. I think we can
So
I got Dungeon Healer. All right, we'll leave the Fabled.
Yeah, he's just.
There's a
wandering
reason why we're doing this.
there's
by
a reason why you're doing that. So so the stages progress, whether or not you keep going or not. So this is a Totem Master who summons
I'm gonna
these.
pull him
You're
out of
gonna
here
leave that
for you.
Fabled there. That Totem Master is gonna play hell here. If you were to defeat that Fabled, then the next
wave would
of
come.
monsters would appear, and you would have probably another Fable and then a whole lot of other monsters. So
And a whole lot of
they're
problems.
using some high-level strats
Yeah.
here to go ahead and take out this
But
this
look at the
Marauder.
health on this guy. Oh,
Yeah,
my
he's
gosh.
got a lot of health.
There's so
No.
much.
Go away from the
You're,
totems.
you're eating
There's a lot of
whole
red
lot.
there. You got this.
Yeah, you got this. I have faith. So this is Arc 2. So like I said, this guy will disappear. If they were to wipe here and die and not actually able to defeat
I'm
defeat
gonna
him,
cleave the.
yeah. If they were able to not actually defeat him, then he would just go away, and then you wouldn't have a
I'll go this
chance.
way.
You wouldn't get that loot moment. He's super beefy.
He's very scary.
I'm gonna stand over here for a little bit.
Yeah, and like I said, you can see how difficult. This is just Arc 2, and you can see kind of how difficult this guy is. So at further arcs, it gets even
Yeah,
more.
you can imagine.
I'll pull him out of these tornadoes a little.
Go, go, go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you defeated
Oh,
it. Now you got
no.
the wave of
Oh,
monsters that
no.
are going to.
I was worried I was going to get clean. Ouch.
Oh,
All right.
Let's try to kill these ones.
Just trying to
We'll
kill
just-
stuff.
we'll just
That's
leave
the goal. So, for those of you wondering, this is what we
Leave
were
a little
kind of
one
waiting for.
in
We
the
wanted
back.
to show this off to players and stuff. After this, I think we're gonna. I think
we'll
we'll
probably
Actually, it's the
stop
last
here.
one we can kill.
Yeah,
we can.
There we go.
Last one.
So the Marauder is down.
My heart.
They get another loot moment here.
What do we get?
Like I said, you got a
More
lead.
fortunes,
You got
a lead.
and you got the Rasslun
I got a
dagger.
verse. Ooh, and I got a dagger.
And you got the Rasslun dagger.
Sweet.
So that is Endless
taste.
Archive.
a taste of
taste of
Endless
Endless
Taste of
Archive.
Endless
yeah.
Archive.
Yeah. We and again, like you said earlier, this is systemically
endless.
So
You can
I
see
mean, we're
that-
choosing to stop here, but we could keep going
Right,
forever,
for sure.
I guess,
Yep.
or until everybody here kicks us out.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So again, this is coming to our public test server, the PTS, on Monday, September 18th. If you have an active PC account, you can access the PTS. There's a little drop down on the launcher where you.
Sorry.
Clip that.
Everyone,
I guess I should have muted myself.
move your mic.
My bad.
All right.
My bad.
So yeah, there's a drop down on your launcher to access the test server, and you can download, give it a try on Monday. So as we mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we do have a lot more other in-game events and activities coming to ESO through the end of the year that we just wanted to touch on. The first is Secrets of the Telvanni, which we had talked about earlier today. This is an in-game event that celebrates the latest Necrom chapter that just came out. So all you have to do is engage in just about any type of chapter content, so questing or fighting or looting, and then you earn reward boxes, bonus drops, and event tickets. However, that is not all. So during this event, there is going to be a special daily event quest that we are challenging all of you to complete. The more of you that complete this quest, the more this meter fills up, and then you unlock various rewards along the way. So, shall we tell them maybe what the rewards are that they can unlock?
Nah.
Stream's over at
Yeah.
4:28.
We're
That's it.
We're done.
Let's share because we have the assets ready. We got it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So the first one is at 33%. It is going to be an ebony scarab pet that
So
you
cute.
see here.
It's
So
adorable.
cute. Chill it on the little mushroom here. That's at 33%. If we fill the meter to 66%, everyone will receive the Nightmare's Nest markings, which is pretty cool. Now, at 100%, there is a really cool item. You have to make sure you complete the quest, though.
Yes.
If
Drum
you
roll, please.
if you fill up the challenge meter, we will be giving everyone who owns the Necrom chapter this amazing house. House in the mountains. They're all cheering. we're hearing it in our heads. So, there is going to be an additional twist on earning an additional bonus reward, but we're going to describe all of that in the website article that is coming soon. Again, this starts September 28th, runs through October 10th. So be sure and participate, complete that quest we talked about, and as long as you own Necrom, you can earn those rewards that are shown on your screen here, which includes the house, if we fill the challenge meter all the way. All right, so along with Secrets of the Telvanni, let's talk around. Let's talk about some more in-game events that are coming to ESO this year. The first is Witches Festival coming in October. Now, what's cool about this year's Witches Festival is we are going to begin decorating towns. So Tamriel's citizens are finally getting into the holiday spirit. You can see these screenshots taken by one of our creators, Artea. She actually discovered this the last PTS cycle when we were testing this event. She was like, wait a second, what's going on here?
Yeah. Surprise.
So starting with Witches Festival in October, you will see some jack-o'-lanterns and just some holiday spirit around Tamriel, which is pretty cool. After that, in November, is going to be the Gates of Oblivion celebration, and then we'll be wrapping up the year in December with the New Life Festival. Now, we also have a number of out-of-game activations as well that we're working on. The first is Test October, which we've done a number of years now. We're hosting this on ESO social channels, so we're working on all the prompts right now. There are going to be some good ones this year, and we can't wait to see all the things that you guys create. Another thing that we're working on is a player competition kind of tied to Endless Archive. So we're still working out details on that, but definitely stay tuned for more information because I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it will.
We are also partnering with the charity No Kid Hungry this October. Now, this is a nonprofit that is working to solve the problems of hunger and poverty all around the world. So again, stay tuned for details. We'll have a website article, and we'll have a Tiltify link for everybody to join if you would like to participate in that charity campaign. Additionally, sorry, I'm trying to kind of there's even more. I'm just trying to get through everything here. We are excited to remind everyone we are bringing ESO Japanese localization to consoles. So if you're interested in hearing more about this, we will have information happening during Tokyo Game Show coming up, I think, next week. Which, aren't you going to that?
When's Tokyo Game Show?
I get on a plane Monday morning.
There
yeah,
you go.
So
Heading
I'll be
to
there.
Japan?
Be there,
Japan.
and then I go to PAX Australia right after. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a long trip.
A lot of
It's
travel.
the Rich World Tour.
I
right.
feel so sorry for you that you get to
know,
travel the
It's
world.
46 hours of flights in 3 weeks.
You know what this is?
It's a lot of flying.
It's going to be
Don't
fun, though.
get assaulted by a kangaroo
Or a drop bear.
or a drop bear. Right?
Does that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So serious.
they're vicious. Everything is vicious. in
It's true.
Australia.
In Australia,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
One last thing. You may have heard earlier today that the Xbox Game Pass Core service has just started today. We are excited to say that ESO is part of that offering. So if you want to learn more about Xbox Game Pass Core, you can head to the Xbox website. They have all the details there. All right. So we talked about a lot of stuff
Breath.
today.
We absolutely did.
That was a lot.
Update 40 coming on Monday on PTS. This is a free update for everybody. It's not a DLC. Endless Archive is part of Update 40, which is really exciting. It also includes the Grandmaster crafting stations, jewelry crafting rebalance, which again, that was a lot of words that Rich gave, but we'll detail everything
Tried to
in
keep it
patch
short.
notes. We have a new group finder coming, and then a few more just little things that, again, will be in the PTS patch notes on Monday. This update is launching October 30th for PC and Mac, November 14th for Xbox and PlayStation consoles, so you do not have to wait very long to play this content once it goes live. All right, so right now I think we're going to kick it over to Deltia for a post-show. Finn will be there to chat with him more about Endless Archive and answer some questions. I want to give a huge thank you to Rich, to Lauren, to Finn for joining us today, showing you a preview of what's coming in Update 40. And we can't wait to see you guys hop on PTS on Monday and give us some feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And thank you to everybody in the background
Yeah.
that is
absolutely.
hiding back
Everybody
there,
back
keeping
there.
this running this.
Yes.
We really, really appreciate it coming in, staying in this hot room.
Very hot.
with us all,
It's a little heat box right now,
listening
but it's
to us
fine.
blather away about something we're so passionate about and so much we love. So
We
thank
want
you.
to thank all of you for joining too. Thanks for hanging out with us
Absolutely.
today. And we will see you next time.